This is Rob from Sports Biz Radio. We got Nick from Sharp Angle Sports. How you doing, brother?
Doing great today. How are you?
Fantastic. So you're the second one I call brother already. You know, maybe
Yeah,
I gotta stick with that, I guess.
it's a family.
Yeah. You know, I just that's we're all in one big
We're
trip
all
around the sun together, right?
yeah, we're all in it together. Very excited about this.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about Sharp Angle Sports.
Yeah, so it was founded in February of 2019, so almost a year old. I kind of got involved a little bit later in the process in July. So I serve as Sharp Angle Sports, and it's a sports betting or a sports betting platform where sharps can enter in their expert selections and give their analysis on games for either NFL or college football. It's kind of where we focus to start. We're hoping to expand that into the NBA and college basketball, golf, UFC, a bunch of other sports. We really started with football, and so what we did was when they brought me in, they also brought in some of these professional sharps. James Salinas is our primary NFL sharp, who was the winner of the 2015 Westgate Super Contest out in Vegas. And then Brad Feinberg, who works for NBC Sports in Philadelphia. Lou Finocchiaro, who is our UFC expert based out of Phoenix. And then Anthony Stalter, who is a radio host and our Big 12 guy here in St. Louis. So we got 4 sharps, 3 of them college football, 1 NFL. And basically what it is, it's a place where the average analysis to help them in their when they're making their sports bet, because the ideal market is the average sports bettor, helping them win. Because what you see a lot of times with sports betting websites is you have they're picking every single sport. They're not really concerned with their results, and they're just going to throw picks out there. And what we're really trying to do is, hey, let's get some guys that are experts in their field, their sport. Let's vet them. Let's make sure they're a proven winner. So we, couple month long process of looking at their records before we bring them on board to make sure they're a proven winner. And then we offer that to the average sports bettor on basically a subscription basis. And so we're looking to expand that a little bit more into our content side of things, because social media, video especially, is so important in 2020, especially in the sports gaming world. You're not seeing a ton of it. You're seeing ESPN, Yahoo Sports, Sports Illustrated do some of that a little bit, but we're really trying to, appeal to the average sports bettor, the average Joe, make it kind of fun, but also make sure we have that expert analysis to back up what we're trying to do.
So what are you seeing now in the marketplace? Obviously, it's an explosion with all the state regulations.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's kind of coming out from behind the shadows and making it mainstream. Is it something that is it just a water hose effect right now?
Yeah, it really is. Ever since it legalized in every state across the board with the exception of Utah. And that's something that's super important when we're looking at the growth in the bigger picture, because it's going to be legal in all these states. And so there's a great opportunity. And not only that, really, when we look at the mobile sports betting landscape, it's a $1 billion industry right now, and something that everybody is getting involved in, whether you're a pro bettor or you're just, you want to throw $20 on the college football championship. Everybody's starting to do it now that it's been legalized federally, and now that it's getting legalized in more states across the board. Because before it was kind of faux pas. Everybody was using offshore betting sites. It was still happening, using bookies and that kind of thing. And now that it's become legal and it's getting legalized in state by state, it's becoming more popular within the community and within the professional sports leagues too. This is an instance where the NHL, the MLB, and the NBA have all partnered with a sports betting site in some aspect to, really push their brand, because the fan engagement factor is going up. That's what they're seeing in all these leagues. There's more fan engagement, maybe not necessarily on television watching the games, but people are interacting with these games. For instance, I bet on the LSU and Clemson College Football National Championship. Do I have any vested interest in either of the teams? No, but it makes you interested in it if there's an opportunity to have a gamified effect where, you have the opportunity to win money, or, there's all kinds of other betting platforms out there, point systems, reward systems. And so people are getting more involved in these games and are becoming fans of these teams that they may not be a fan of otherwise, which is kind of cool.
What do you see as far as a comparison with some of the same type of platforms in Asia, Australia, Europe, around the Premier League? Because obviously they've been legalized gambling forever over there, and we're the ones that are so far behind. What do you see as a comparable platform that you guys are starting to create that's already in place?
Yeah, I mean, some of this stuff over in Europe and Asia, centered on the football market and the cricket market, especially in Asia, is huge. And like I said, the United States is a little bit behind, and really the NFL is the one that's gonna kind of probably change that a little bit. The NFL hasn't partnered with anybody yet, like the other big three franchises have to date. So it's interesting because they are still a little bit behind in terms of where the U.S. is and with the companies that are starting here locally. But it's kind of interesting because I don't think the United States has figured out like what it is that's going to work, since it's not legal everywhere. It's state by state. So trying to figure out, hey, how is this going to work? You've seen one of our partners with Sports Illustrated, SI Gambling. You've seen Bleacher Report with BR Betting and Barstool with Barstool Bets, what they've done. So that people are starting to dive into it a little bit more. And that's something where we haven't seen exactly what is it that works. People are getting involved. We know people are betting, but there isn't really a platform that says like, hey, this is how everyone's going to do it. The Action Network has done very well. VSiN has done very well out in Vegas because there's some of those platforms where the books are at. And, Caesars partnered with Bleacher Report and moved them out there to Vegas to start with what Bleacher Report was doing. But there's not really a comparison, I think, to make as far as what's going on in the United States yet, because I don't think anybody's really figured out, hey, what is the U.S. market asking for and what works. I think that'll change over the next couple of years as these franchises and as these leagues continue to partner with betting sites. We'll see a little bit more. I think we'll get a more clear clarification on what that's going to look like over the next couple of years.
So talk about you as an entrepreneur, and talk about what have you learned about yourself since you've been on this journey, the good, the bad, things that maybe you have done differently.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I graduated from the University of Missouri in their journalism program. Missouri through and through here, so I've never really left the state of Missouri, based out of St. Louis. And I was initially in television and radio, and something that we saw with sports TV radio was not a lot of jobs. The job market was changing, it was adapting, it was going more digital, and that was something that I noticed a little bit earlier on than a couple of my peers. And so what I did was I got out of the industry and started two of my own companies, one that focuses on high school recruiting, getting kids, underappreciated kids to college, kids at lower levels that don't get all the attention from the scouts and the colleges, get them some attention and get college scholarships. And then the other one was a media-based company, because really what we noticed is there's definitely a need for social media and video, more or less. Video is kind of the thing we focus on the most. Not a lot of people know how to do it. So our expertise is, hey, we went to J school for this. We're adapting from what we learned in TV and radio and adapting it for social media and the new landscape that social media offers, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. There's all these new social media platforms that businesses don't necessarily know about or know how to adapt to. That's the younger demographic. And I think they're seeing the same thing in the gaming world and the betting world. Is most of these big companies are pertaining to the younger demographic because they are the ones that are betting now and are going to be betting again, throughout the next 10 to 20 years. So pertaining to the younger demographic is something that we targeted and have found success with, because everybody's on their phone all the time. Everybody's on their apps. They're on the internet. Whatever it is, they got their phone in their hand. And so being able to use what we've learned in our experience, especially in video, and taking it to digital and adapting it for the phone, for mobile, has really helped us and has helped me as an entrepreneur. And then with this new venture joining on with Sharp Angle Sports is okay, it's a new project. We're trying to figure out how to do this. What's the best way? What's going to work? And me, I'm the type of person that always like to challenge, having started 2 companies and then, looking to add on to that. I'm always, ready for the next challenge, ready to adapt. And I think that's something that you have to be able to do in 2020 as an entrepreneur is, even if you have an idea and you think it's a great thing, you got to be willing to adapt to the changing landscape. And that's something where I think that's the most important thing is to be able to adapt, because things are always going to change. And if you stay in your box and don't, adapt to the new social medias and try all these new things, it's basically just experimenting with new things. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. And I think that's the most important thing, honestly.
What advice do you give to yourself when you're first starting out, just coming out of college? If you could talk to, Nick back then, what would it be? What would that advice be?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty fresh out. I mean, only 2016 December is when I graduated, so I've been out for 3 years now. And I think I jumped right into the real world, working for a radio station, and learned a fair bit, but saw it wasn't going where it had the potential to go. And so I think I was smart in getting out when I did and starting my own thing. And entrepreneurship is tough. It's there's a lot of sacrifices. You're not making a whole lot of money when you start out, but I think the adventure is there. The opportunity is cool. And I think what's the most important thing is like weighing your happiness and your time versus, your bank account. And if you look at everybody else and they have a higher bank account than you do, then, well, that might be cool and well. They might be buying cars and houses and all these other things, but are they really happy, and are they really having fun and enjoying what they do, and spending their time wisely, traveling? Like, I'm not out here like waiting to 61 to go, when I retire, to go travel, enjoy my life. I'm doing that now. And so I think that's the most important thing, not only for entrepreneurs, but just for everybody in general. When you're weighing that work-life balance, is, hey, don't wait till you retire to do something you really want to do. If there's something you want to do it now. If you have to have a regular job to pay the bills, great, but work on your side hustle at home. You can, people say there's not enough time in the day, but really there is. Like, are you going to come home after work and spend time watching Netflix, or do you want to go and create a side hustle that maybe could become your full-time job down the line? So I think it's really just like looking at how you spend your time. And I think that's something I would tell myself too, is like, hey, don't sweat the small stuff. Like, everything happens for a reason, and you're going to have your opportunities, and really just seize the opportunities when they come your way. Don't feel bad about taking a risk, even if it's, for maybe you're taking a step back monetarily, you're going to take 2 steps forward in your happiness and what you're enjoying doing.
Yeah, no, there's, what do they say? The 3 things in life have to align: time, money, and your health.
Yes.
Right? And those 3 things usually don't happen until you're at that retirement age.
Right. Exactly.
And if you're lucky, if you have your health to do all those things, or if you want to do them, if you spend your life, on an airplane and in hotels like I did, it's, by the time you retire, it's like, I already been to all those places and I was working, but
Right.
now I want to go back and have flip-flops on,
Exactly. And so, I think that's important, taking care of your health when you're young, like we are. People take that for granted later on in life, because otherwise you end up, instead of sitting on a beach, you're sitting in a hospital because you have to pay for your hospital bills and you can't afford to go sit on the beach and enjoy your retirement. And then you have 60 years that you wasted because you were worrying about when you retired, because money was more important. So I think that's just like, obviously understanding the value of money is important, but also understanding the value of time is just as important as the money portion of it.
I agree. I just think building your life resume, which seems to be a trending thing right now that people are saying, especially old guys like me, which I tell my 4 kids, build your life resume. Go out and do it now before you get anchored down by family and other obligations. If your only obligation right now is maybe missing a car payment, who cares? Go.
Right.
Go.
Have fun.
Yeah. Spend the money. Experience life, put it all in perspective. There may be a time where we can't travel to some of these countries. That's some of the realities that may happen in another 10 years,
Absolutely.
So get it all in now while you can. I didn't mean to go down that road, and,
No,
it's true.
I like talking about that. I mean, the life coaching type stuff is always, the self-help stuff is super popular right now. And I think, looking at different things, people compare themselves to what they see on social media and all their favorite people on social media, when that's not exactly what reality is. So I think just like focusing on what makes you happy, and like if you want to start a company or start something cool on the side, do it as a side hustle, and just understand the value of your time, your money, and your time management, and like recognize your happiness too. Because there's something you want to do now, might as well do it now. And if it fails, it fails. But better do it now than when you're older and have kids and mortgages and car payments. Just do it now and fail, and maybe learn from it. Maybe that'll help you down the line too.
You learn a lot by having a wife and children, or a spouse and children, but sometimes that's not as fun as it is to backpack through Europe. So
right.
you get that experience in first before the other start, which is magical and beautiful in its own right too. But I think you brought up a good point before, but I think the mindset of an entrepreneur and what people talk about mental health and mental and just being kind of strong and have some courage, those things are so important as being an entrepreneur. And mental toughness is a big part of it. Able to overcome disappointment and rejection and know it's not going well, and be able to take a deep breath and sit back and not being emotional about things. When they talk about athletes having mental toughness, that's what it means. It's not the guy who's going to throw his helmet and walk off out of a huddle and quit, and that's what happens in high school and college. The ones not always in hockey and baseball, in every sport, the most talented don't always make it. And the reason why is because they're not mentally tough. They're drama queens is the best way to say it. Right? People talk about locker room lawyers. They're drama queens. Yeah. They gossip. They're negative, and they can't get out of their own head to become a pro. And it's the same thing, in my opinion. This is an Uncle Rob rant, Nick, by the way. And this is the same thing that happens to entrepreneurs. They feel like it's because I'm an entrepreneur. I want to say I'm an entrepreneur, and they think it's a celebrity thing or status symbol, or whatever it is. And it's not just to be a CEO. Right. It's not just now. It's been forever. It's the ones that could mentally tough hang in there that make it. And
and I think another important point too is to like surround yourself with successful people that are better than you, especially as an entrepreneur. You always need mentors and the important people around you. Like keep your circle small, because especially we've noticed, like once we started doing something and then it gains a little bit of success, then all the friends want to come in. Everybody wants a piece of it and wants to basically ride your coattails. And I think the important thing is, especially when people are comparing themselves on social media, they see you doing something cool. And so it's really just important to stick to the few people that are going to support you from day one, and not bring in a large group of people that might be bad influences. And really, when you get opportunities, consult your tight group of people and understand, like, hey, is this something that's going to benefit us? Is this somebody that's just trying to take advantage of us? And that's something super important, right? Really just making smart decisions with what you're doing. If you're trying to grow something and grow a company, is to be smart and look at every angle of a situation before you dive in, or someone offers you some money. Really recognize, like, make sure it's a good idea and best for you and your company.
The magic always, Nick, is not make money off of people, but make money together.
Right.
Make money together. And if you can figure that part out, and you can have that hard conversation with your partners and your collaborators and your investors, then that's the magic sauce right there. And if it's always understood, how do both of us benefit and all of us benefit, then you're going to make it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, hey man, it's been a great call and great conversation. I felt like it was a call. Yeah. I forgot that we're recording this, and this is actually a show. So I'm Rob. You're watching.
It feels like it's live, even though it's really not.
He's back. It's not. I know. That's the magic of it. Hey, listen, we'll see you down in Orlando. That's Nick over there. I'm Rob again. You're watching and listening to Sports Biz Radio. Take care, everybody.